Well,
Okay, agreed.
welcome. This is Jim Spohrer at our quarterly welcome, and my apologies to those who might have wanted to join live because I forgot to send the Zoom out 30 minutes early. But Srini is in top form of his game and caught the email at the last minute. So thank you, Srini, for being part of this quarterly welcome. And ISSIP is the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals. We are a very um, relatively small nonprofit professional association with about 2,000 participants worldwide. So that's relatively small when you think of like IEEE with hundreds of thousands of members. But our focus is service innovation, and we explain what that is in a minute. But these quarterly welcomes are just a way for participants in the community to get to know each other a little bit, find out what we're about, and we enjoy these a lot. I do. Um, so what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to share our Give, Get, Grow, and people can make that up on the fly. It's just a way of spurring a conversation that we found, and I'll describe my Give, Get, Grow shortly. But when we survey participants, the number one reason why um, folks join ISIP is they want to grow their professional network with innovators, people who think about innovation, who have done innovation, who want to do innovation. So it's really about growing the network. And we do have very good representation of students around the world, professionals, mid-career, beginning career, and retirees such as myself. And I'm retired from IBM and Apple. Um, the other reason people join is they want to give their time, enthusiasm, and expertise on collaborative projects. And we have loads of collaborative projects that are participants, a lot of whom are innovators. Srini, who's on, I'm sure we're going to learn about the Don Norman Award. That's another global collaboration. So we have collaborators who have projects that people can participate in. So it's um, a group of people who like to participate in collaborative projects. And finally, especially for the younger members, getting professional recognition. And I've had many participants. IZIP's been around for over 12 years. I've had many participants. I've watched them go from students to VP of company, and they said their IZIP participation helped them get their promotion or other things. We recently did a survey of some of our ambassadors, and these are some of our programs that participants benefit from. I was surprised to see the publications on the website, the newsletter. We have a book series and stuff I'll describe in a minute. That was came up number one in the small group that we surveyed um, of our ambassadors. And then the networking, that wasn't surprising to me. That came in second. These volunteer opportunities, again, that's what we see a lot. And then people like the platforms. They like the various platforms that we have associated with ISIP. Um, so those are some of the reasons why people participate in the community. Um, One of the things that I've also enjoyed in the community is we have a partnership with Business Expert Press, which publishes concise expert publications, and a fair number. We have over 100 publications now after 12 years. Um, a lot of them by professionals who have always said to themselves, I've always wanted to write a book. I never did it. And thanks to IZIP and Business Expert Press, I got my book out. And so I'm very proud of that. I think that really has meant a lot to a number of the professionals in the community to finally have that support and encouragement to get a book out. We also support many conferences. We don't have a conference of our own. We sometimes do get together in the Bay Area because we have a lot of people in Silicon Valley. So we do run local events from time to time. But what we do have is ambassadors who connect us to service innovation related conferences around the world. And for ones with active ambassadors, we give out best paper awards. And you can see those on the blog. What I'd like to do now is just show a short video from Michele Carroll, who is our ISIP executive director. and she is an entrepreneur, founder of Carroll Co-Marketing. She has recorded just a very short few-minute recording. So let me go ahead and stop sharing and play her recording. And then I think we've got like 3 more slides, Srini, and then it's going to be your turn to introduce yourself to the community. So let me find the link to the recording. Right. Nope, that's not right. Where is, oh, there it is right there. Okay. Let's see if I got the right one.
Hello and welcome to ISSIP, the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals. I'm Michele Carroll, Executive Director of our nonprofit organization.
Can you hear it okay, Srini?
Yes, I can hear okay. Yep. Thanks.
Okay. It's just a couple minutes and
Yep.
Here with a brief message of who we are and a little bit about our programs and how you might engage with ISSIP or partner with us, help us stay free and benefit our interconnected world. We are a global community of a little over 2,000 individuals now and 1,000 organizations, all lifelong learners committed to, as you see underneath here, advancing innovation to benefit people and business and society. We do that through, with a volunteer leadership team and a bevy of programs. If you go to ISSIP.org, our website, and on who we are leadership page, you'll see on our board, our executive committee of the board, our strategy council, and the basic volunteer teams running the programs are representative of the very large industry companies from MasterCard, IBM, Cisco, Amazon, to small to medium enterprises as well. Industry, academia, NGO, and government entities. We are, as I say, volunteer managed and operated. Every year we elect a president and a vice president. We have a single part-time executive director employee, and all the programs are led by volunteers who help recruit and manage, motivate, inspire, and connect with volunteer teams. And as I say, all committed to lifelong learning. That's what it's all about. How might you engage? If you go to ISSIP.org, you'll see a programs tab on the top left. And each of these programs are regular awards and recognition and credentials, our academic industry collaboration, the AI Collab, our ambassadors program, publishing, there's free support for publishing your own, writing, publishing a book, a chapter, white papers, conference papers, and the Mighty Me program for assessing and developing and improving your T-shape. More on the website about each of these programs, who leads it, and how you can get involved, which we would love to see. Bottom line is, at ISSIP, you're gaining access to the experts and thought leaders, back to that at the bottom here, to the mentoring and connection with those world leaders, experts in service innovation. And we encourage you to think what it is you want to give, to get, and how you want to grow in global community, and leverage the ISSIP platform to build your knowledge, experience, and brand eminence in the space. So we value your thought, your time, your talent, and your treasure if you are able to donate. We are free to individuals. Many will donate, as you see here listed, this $250 annual donation as a professional association, which is reimbursable typically by your organizations. We ask that you check that, and we very much appreciate the support that sustains us. We are wholly funded by donations from individuals and from organizations. So we ask that you please do help us stay free by volunteering your time, your thought, your talent. And if you have an organization that might be interested in partnering, again, on that donate page are those levels of contribution and the benefits at each level. And I would be the person at this email you see here, executive director at ISSIP, to talk to about tailoring a partnership that works for you. Thanks and welcome.
Okay, so let me stop that. Oh, there's Heather. Escape. All right, go back to the presentation and we'll just wrap up here, Srini. So in the slide deck that gets posted along with these presentations, there's the slides that Michele did. Just a little bit about me. I'm Jim Spohrer. I'm the co-founder. In 2012, I co-founded this. I was at IBM then, an executive, and we had a service research group in IBM Research, and we wanted to build a larger community. So we connected with colleagues from HP and Cisco and other tech services type companies to get ISSIP launched. Also, a lot of universities. And these days, now that I'm retired, I'm enjoying what I give is I automate parts of ISSIP's backend processes. That tends to be getting easier because of AI capabilities. What I get is I just enjoy watching the careers unfold of students to executives. To grow, I'm working on an AI digital twin of myself. So that AI digital twin is on the Answers From Me platform, and people can try it out if they want. Vaishali Main is our quarterly welcome leader. She's actually on a little family vacation right now, so I'm running the show. Normally Vaishali would. She has a book in our series, our Business Expert Press series about Give, Get, and Grow, the power of community. That's worth reading. And there's Vaishali. And what she tends to enjoy the most is giving a pair of ears. She loves to listen to people talk about their career, where they are, and the opportunities they're looking for as they grow and develop as lifelong learners who are interested in service innovation. And she's getting learning about the art of building global technical communities. And she's growing, of course, building her network globally and helping ISSIP in the process. There's a number of links that'll be in the presentation that get posted for people who want access to the newsletter and other things. And that's really that's the show. So that's our quarterly welcome for January 14th, 2026, our session A. I'm going to stop sharing the slides now and invite Srini to introduce himself. And I'm looking forward to that introduction, Srini, and thank you so much for your patience as I went through the deck here. Now, over to you, Srini, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Michele. It was wonderful to hear her talk about the organization, and also very nice to meet you, virtually speaking. We are from the same area, Bay Area. So just a little bit of background. So my name is Srinivasan, and I was actually born in India, but relocated to the Bay Area in 1989, and then dealt with a few technology startups like the typical Indian roots do. So hardware, software, telecom hardware. Then I moved into industrial design, and then I started my design studio called Lumium. And then along the process, I also became globally networked. I rose up to be the president of the World Design Organization, which is an organization started in 1957 for the promotion of the industrial design profession. So we changed our name from ICSID to WDO in 2017 because the definition of industrial design expanded to include service design and systems and other forms of design, including the user experience design. So as I was running the organization, so I drive through the organization during the tough periods of COVID. We had, partnered with IBM and Design for America to see what can be done to people who are suffering and all of that stuff. So, and then I'm also very well networked with Cumulus, the organization, which is again a global organization that is taking care of the universities, especially the design education. And along the times when the COVID was there with Don Norman, we also did an online program called the Future of Design Education, where we had 650 odd people joining us online for a period of 16 weeks or so to see how the design education can change and whether we should have the same level of entry barriers that the most famous universities in the US have. Like if you want to join a design program in Stanford or MIT, there are lots of gates you got to cross. But for a person living in Rwanda or in Timbuktu, so why we should have that? And what's the age barrier? So those are some of the radical changes that we were trying to bring together. And that's the journey that I was going along with Don Norman. And subsequently, once I finished my term as a World Design President, I also had my own studio, which I sort of gave up to my employees because my business kind of slowed down during the COVID. And then I became more interested in teaching. All along, I've been teaching also to different universities. And so some of them are Politecnico di Milano and also University of Genoa in Italy. And now that led me to be invited to start a design university slash design research institute in Shanghai. So I relocated to Shanghai in 2022. And then I've been running the program. And then came Don's invitation saying, hey, we need to do something. It's kind of really funny. We actually had a program where it's called a Frontier Design Prize, where we recognize the world's topmost design educator. And the very first edition of that, I was a curator of that award in China. And the very first winner of that award was none other than Don Norman. I had a 17 jury member, 10 of them international and 7 of them locally in Chinese, including myself and a couple of foreigners in China. So the and then at the end of the award, it was a 1 million RMB. So Don was saying like, hey, Srini, what do I do with this? I've been getting lots of awards. I think we should look at something where we can give award to people who normally may not get the award. And that discussion led to forming what we call now as a Don Norman Design Award, which is a 503c nonprofit organization in San Diego. And then we had 2 successful conferences, one in San Diego, November of 24, and one in Singapore last year, November of 2025, along with Singapore Polytechnic as co-host. So the next year's conference will be in India, in Mysore, a city near Bangalore, and we are working towards making that another successful program for us. See, the goal of during these 2 successful events, we also learned that we wanted to really promote humanity-centered design, slightly different than the human-centered design. And then so we are actually encouraging organizations, NGOs, and corporations to focus on humanity-centered design. In a nutshell, humanity-centered design is, in addition to whatever you're doing for human-centered design, you need to do it with the people for whom you're designing. So that is a additional thing that Don has been writing in his books, and that is what is now catching on throughout the world. And we are promoting that. And our goal is to educate 1 million designers with the knowledge of HCD plus. We call it the power of plus. So that's what we want to educate the world. And then we are expanding our vision and organization to make that goal a realistic goal in the next few years time frame. So in that context, so we are very excited to work with organizations such as the ISSIP because we want people to network with the like-minded people. Of course, we really don't pay much attention to the technology development, so we are more focused on humans and the humanity-centered design. Along with that, maybe there is a technology play that helps the cause of getting to the humanity-centered design. We don't have a problem, but we are not looking to go to the typical technology play and see what an IoT can do. I mean, I come from a very strong hardware, software, technical background. I can appreciate it, but we are focusing more on humanity-centered aspects of design and our day-to-day life. And then we also focus UN Sustainable Development Goals. I've been pushing UN SDG as running the organization as a World Design Organization president. So we continue to do that in DNDA also. So these are some of our objectives. And then we are looking for like-minded organization to network, partner. One of the things that I'm looking at is to see how you mentioned that you do not have an award in your organization, but you don't need to have an award in every organization that is already there. But you could partner with organizations that are having an award and see how your work aligns with some of the things that we are doing. So that way, if there is a window for us to recognize the work that your organization is doing, I'm very interested in carrying this discussion further and to see how we can take that and promote your organization while we co-create value for the globe. So that is the main mantra. And so that's a brief introduction. So you could follow dnda.org and see what we do. Or dnda.design is the website. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you, because you're doing service innovation, do you work with service design networks?
Yes, yes.
Bridget Mager is the president, a good
Yes.
friend of mine.
Yeah, she is her conference and her are part of our ISSIP network. And I don't know if you're familiar with the book Pro Social, but it's a nice book about how different groups can co-create value and create win-win relationships. And um, just a small correction, we do have an award. We don't have a conference like SDN.
Okay, okay. Got it.
We have a
Got it. Yeah.
conference, and I should have left the graphic on because we do promote SDN in the slide deck. I had removed it and just put.
Okay. Yeah, because SDM, Bridget is a very close friend of mine, and I saw her last year. We invited her to come and work with us on one of the events, so in Shanghai. So, and again, like I said, I'm very well known around the globe in all the organizations which are design and design promotion organizations. I'm also very closely associated with IDSA in the US, which is a primary organization for industrial design because of my background as an industrial designer. So I'm more inclined. Of course, I do work with service design, graphic designers, and all of these people. So we changed the definition to be more global by changing our name to World Design Organization. And of course, now with the Down Norman Design Award,
Yeah,
so we are actually expanding our horizon to serving the humanity for a better cause.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, Srini, that makes a huge amount of sense to me. And I guess one of the things that we might collaborate on more in the future, besides the awards, and I think like the Don Norman Awards, there's a lot of students and early career university types that may create something, and then that may turn into something bigger, and they could apply in
Correct.
stream for the ISSIP Award, our annual excellence award. But I do think the education aspect, that goal you said of educating 1 million people in design, that would be that would make a nice blog post for our website, and we could put that in the newsletter. And I will include all the links to the Don Norman Prize and your
Yes, yes.
in the recording metadata. But tell me a little bit more about how are you measuring that, or just where are you in that 1 million? Are you in the middle, at the beginning, closer to the end?
Oh, at the beginning, because we ourselves are only 2 years old, right? Two conferences.
Yeah, yeah,
And in the conferences, maybe you take a little bit to explain the summits. We call it as a summit, where we bring in people not with technology, but with the HCD plus. We call it as the HCD plus to give the fact that it's a humanity centered, not human centered. That's the power of plus.
yes,
And we bring people and speakers who have done some really good work in promoting the humanity. These include organizations, that are doing work with the city to create a better life, especially in the US, right? Removing the homelessness. Or there is an organization in Berkeley where they just work with the city to create all the social problem, or cities, urban city problem. They're removing all of those things. So we identify such people, bring them to the summit, have them speak and share with whatever they have done, and also do some workshops, so that people do hands-on training on how they can benefit or create value for their society. So that's a direct impact on the society. And then along the path, when we say we want to educate 1 million people, as you can see, we are working with the universities and other education institutions. So we are also coming out with the HCD plus standards, where we say, like, if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, then you supposedly, following the curriculum for HCD plus. And if you are doing the HCD plus, then we will also, based on the judging of the criteria that you're using to educate people, we could also give a certificate to the institution. So graduates who are coming with a degree in a particular branch with that focus will be automatically counted in our million count. So that is it's a long process, but we
Yeah.
are not saying we'll do it tomorrow, right? We are saying we will do it in the next 5 to 7, 8 years, but we will also spread. Scaling is the biggest challenge, right? Like you mentioned, your organization, you have 2,000 people. But then in WDO, we are reaching 450,000 people. But
Wow.
they are not individual members, but they are members of the universities or the corporations or whatever, right? So that's how we add up these numbers to be able to get to 1 million. And it's not impossible. I mean, if you look at some of the other organizations like Design for Good, they are saying we want to impact 10 million people.
Okay. All right.
Impact, right? It's not certification. Impact 10 million people. So that could be a population of a place, where they are doing something useful and doing some projects that will be counting to it. But we are saying very specifically, we will educate 1 million people, which means they will be certified in the humanity-centered design subjects in some form or the other. So it's still early stage, and I'll be happy to share with you what we are doing in that particular context.
Great. Great. Thanks, Srini. Yeah, definitely send me any other links that you want me to include into the metadata.
Right.
That'll be useful to have that documented. And I'll find a way to encourage you to maybe do a blog post for the website at some point.
We can. We can. That's the whole power. See, again, one of our biggest goal is we don't want to grow to be like a 500 people organization. We still want to be only 20 or 25 people. And then we want to work with networks like yours, so that the power of Plus is adding networks. We are already doing something useful. We like each other. We have common goals. Then there is no reason why we should start another organization competing with what you're doing. So we don't want to do what you're doing. We want to do what is needed so that we can work together and not compete
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily on one-to-one.
Right, right. Like the internet, we connect
Yeah, exactly.
all of that framework. And I think yeah, the other thing that did stand out to me is your SDG focus, the
Yes,
development goals.
totally, totally,
Yeah,
totally. And then if you look at our website to know the laureates of 24 and 25, they're all listed in our website. I mean, the work that they are doing is really, really brings tears, because educating very poor kids in Africa or in Mexico, or also providing palliative care to the tribes people
yeah,
in a remote corner in India, all of those things, and then educating women where in Pakistan, where they are not allowing women to get basic education to be able to self-sustaining. So those are some of the projects that even this year's winner, a hospital in Singapore, where they are providing care for people who not have money, the poor people. We all know Singapore is a very rich country and they don't have any problem, but they do have problems. Every country has problems. And then we are identifying those areas where people are doing some really good social work. And that's what, we actually ask them to support what cost of they're doing, and how that relates to UN SDG goal number 3 or 5 or 8 or 9 or 10, depending on that. And then I have a panel of 29 jury members today
Mm, mm.
who are evaluating. Unlike the other conferences where just, people give the awards, in our case, it is like, the judges are asked to write maybe a 500 word, why we should give award or why we should not give the award. So it calls for a lot of time. We select the jury or people who have done the work or taught in the HCD plus scenario, as well as we ask them, could you commit so much time? Because, we don't need a rejected or approved. We want to know why, so that we give the feedback to the people. And it's important that, the feedback is given to the society at large. So
Yeah,
when the winners are there, we invite them to come. We pay for their travel from wherever they are to the conference site, and we give them time to explain their project, not just say we did a great thing. Where did you fail? How did you fail? How did you overcome? So people who are sitting on the edge, should I do it or not? They get encouraged by these successful stories or sharing the problems and how they solved it, so that they can go from there and take it to the next level. So that is the hallmark of our design summit, rather than just giving an award and a trophy and a prize money.
got it. Got it. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes things get oversimplified and people think it's a straight line, but it's really a
Yeah, our judging process, Jim, takes like, 5 to 6 months. We start in March, and then we know the winners only by September. And
okay.
then the conferences are in November.
Great, great.
We
Well,
have enough time for them to apply for a visa and come to the city where the conference is having, if they get selected.
fantastic. Wow. Yeah. That's great, Srini. And I will keep you posted as well because
Yes, sir.
we do get together once in a while in person. We have
Yeah, I'm going to be visiting typically during the Chinese New Year. I come to the Bay Area, which is February 14. I'll
okay.
be there in the Bay Area 14th to uh, March 2nd. I'm also meeting Dawn the end of February. We got a conference there because, I
Oh,
mean, I'm a CEO. I got to meet my team once in a while at least. So
yeah.
maybe before I go there, we could get together. If you come
Yeah.
up to the North Bay, because my son lives in Hayward, and that's when most of the time I'll be staying. Since we don't have our house anymore, we rent it out to people, so I can't just kick them out for 1 week when I am visiting.
Very
So
good. Well,
maybe if you're coming up to we could probably
Berkeley.
meet midpoint somewhere, like Palo Alto or wherever you're coming, that side, Fremont, or whenever you have something, we could meet and then have a
Yeah,
coffee and we'll see what happens.
that'd be very good, Srini. Well, thank you again so much for persevering this morning with my mistake on.
No, 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 don't mention. Don't mention. The technology is always tricky.
Yes, and great meeting you. I'll go ahead and end the recording and thank you again.
Yes.
We'll get this posted and add the links so more people in the community can see how to join their network with your great network. So thanks again, Srini.
Thank you very much. And you have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks. Bye for
Bye
now.
for now.